What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. That voice you hear, that is Joik Bell sitting in the captain's chair. D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house as well. Fish in the bowl, Sawyer in the booth. Squad deep, as we like to say, up in here on a Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Yes, it is Tuesday. Monday Night Football. Last night, the Rams got the win over the Cardinals. As I predicted, D-Mac.
I
was all over that one.
You were all over that one. It was back and forth to me, and I got to give not only you but Stafford props, and that was a game on game. I think that Aaron Donald's a man. He does man things, but a couple questionable. We were talking earlier about coaching decisions between Arizona about the 4th and 1 going for it, whether kicking it, and we were throwing it back and forth. But sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. But that was a big win regardless for the Rams. And that
huge win.
That stinks as a Lions fan.
And here's the thing, Joik. And I know you can speak to this. At least I suspect I'm true, but I always like to run these things by you to confirm it. You're seeing, I think, with the season, with the Chiefs, with that Rams win yesterday, consequently, the Cardinals played a lot in that Rams win, just from the standpoint of Kyler Murray. It was what I suspected. It was a big moment, huge moment. They could have essentially locked up a division title. They didn't get the win. But with all that being said, Joik, things are kind of rounding into shape now, aren't they? You see the Bucs, you see the Packers, you see the Chiefs. I mean, the usual suspects are starting to make their move.
You know what? And this is the time of the year right now, December, where the good teams start to get better. Right? They start to get a little bit better. The Rams are playing better than what they played in November. They're playing better. Right now, if the Cardinals would have won that game last night, they would have clinched their spot.
Yeah, it would have been a lot.
It would have been a lot. Right? And so now it's to a point now to where, if you're looking at it, LA might be able to take that number one spot in the division. They continue to win, and some things play out to where Cardinals lose a couple of games, which it was funny to me. A stat that I saw was the Cardinals are better away than at home.
Like stunningly better.
7-0 on the road and 3-2 at home. And that's to be complete opposite. You want to win all your games at home, and then if you can get go 50-50 on away games, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good, but
what I immediately thought of, right, is what you said yesterday, Neil, how it relates back to the Lions, because you're talking about some meaningless games, and especially the Packers late in the season, if they have things locked up. Well, this only keeps between that, isn't it, the Green Bay, Dallas, also Arizona, and would Joint just say the other team? There's 4 of them that are right there battling it out. So the more that you keep them into it, the more that you keep them engaged as far as Green Bay, then they'll have to play a meaningful game. Then Aaron Rodgers will care. So you'll get your draft capital and hopefully more of a loss.
And I do think that that's going to play a big part in it, right? The way that the playoff format has changed up. Everybody, like 20 teams in the NFL right now, I believe was the number, something crazy like that. They're within one game of a playoff spot. That does help the Lions because they are not one of those 20 teams. So, right. It is a situation where Green Bay obviously is going to be fighting for that number 1 overall seed. All the teams are going to be, and then even and above that, if you do have to play, you want to play at home in the playoffs. Except for the Cardinals, they probably don't. Nope. But it's just the way that it is. But for the game last night, I had all the vibes from the Rams that the Rams are going to get that win, and it wasn't even so much. I know that we're back to good Stafford now, and the love affair's been rekindled with Matt Stafford here in Detroit. Yeah. But I believe this, Joik, and maybe I'm being too media. You're probably going to tell me I'm being too much of a media guy here. Right. I believe that there is some degree of mental block with the Cardinals when it comes down to and look, I'm a Kyler Murray guy. You and I have had that discussion before. I like Kyler Murray a lot. He's a dynamic player.
Right.
Dynamic player. However, you saw drops from DeAndre Hopkins. You saw Kyler Murray unsure of what he wanted to do. And it was, I would say, that game, and there will be bigger moments later, but I would say that game yesterday was a very big moment in Kyler Murray's career. And again, I'm not going media and trying to oversell this. there was a lot of gravity to that situation last night because there was so much on the line.
I think I don't know if it was so much on the line as far as what kind of had them discombobulated, but as a team in general, they were discombobulated. They weren't on the same page.
Right.
That drop from Hopkins was his first drop of the year and his first drop in the red zone since 2019 on that crucial third down, right? And so it was a lot of key moments in that game on the Arizona Cardinals side where they committed turnovers, but also they made big plays towards the end to kind of keep, get them back into the game, even getting the onside kick, right? And then, Kyler Murray went down and should have spiked the ball, and the team didn't know what he was running, and it was just, it was bad football, right? But not to take away anything from the Rams, but it was a lot of cool things about that game, right? And we talk about Stafford, man. Stafford made a throw yesterday. He actually made a couple of throws, but it was one throw in particular that I love so much to Devon Jefferson. Can you pull that up for us real quick? There's not too many quarterbacks in the NFL that can make this type of pass. And it was funny because when I saw it happen, I said that to myself, and then at the end they commentated that when they broke down the game, there's only a few quarterbacks in the NFL that can make that pass.
No, the touchdown pass to Van Jefferson, yeah.
So
threw it in the bucket.
On the move, too.
On the move. And so the thing is, just to be able to flip your hips like that and not take a hit step and throw it over 6 yards in the air.
On a line.
On a line.
Right?
And then his father is on the sideline cussing. And it's crazy to have your dad as a coach on the opposing team, and then have your son playing for the other team, and you see this play, it's like mixed emotions. It's bittersweet, right? I can understand, or I can figure out what that conversation is going to be like at that dinner table the next day, right?
I'm more concerned because when I saw that, I wanted to ask you today, because you've been in practice with that guy.
Yes.
So you saw that going, and we're talking about only a few guys can make that play, but how many times had you seen him do that in practice working with Calvin or drop? Because you tell me, to me it looks like he's doing the drop in the bucket drill from whatever else, like the precision, not only the arm strength, but that's practice. So talk about it, because you've seen it live.
So even on that angle that you're seeing, that we're looking at, that angle right there, it doesn't give it justice on how far he threw that pass. Now when they go down to the field version, they show you the field version, and you really see how far he is away from the from that receiver, how he can just flip his hips and just like a flick of the wrist, and he's throwing it on the line 60 yards. I've seen him do that in practice. One time in practice, he did a rollout, flipped his hips, took one hit step, and threw it 73 yards in the air to Calvin Johnson on a deep pass. But to be able to go ahead, just flip your hips and just on a line. And the thing that you love about that play the most, what you can't see, is that he's taking his eyes, running back for us real quick. You have a cross route coming, and he has his eyes on this particular cross route. Look down, I believe it's Cooper Kupp, or it might be Odell. He's doing a cross route, and he takes his eyes over there to make the safety come down and bite down just a little bit, and then he launches it 60 yards down the field, knowing that safety won't have enough time to get back. And if you watch this play in slow motion, you're looking right at it. He can't get back. He can barely get a hand on him. And, Van Jefferson is able to go in the end zone and score that major touchdown in front of his father against a team that they lost to previously in the season.
Break this down for me, Joik, because with Sean Jefferson and Van Jefferson, this is the competition in the NFL, that in the moment, Sean Jefferson, and you tell me if I'm overselling this, I genuinely believe that in the moment, Sean Jefferson is really pissed.
No, he really
pissed. He doesn't care that it's his son. Yeah. He's really pissed off, and he doesn't care that his son just scored the touchdown. All right, so that's after the game stuff, right?
This is after the game. So for people who don't know OG is a great coach. Coach Calvin Johnson, he coached me here in Detroit. He's one of the coaches back there when we're, I'm catching punts. He's, showing us how to catch the punts. I mean, the punts and the kickoffs, elbows together, things like that. And so, great coach, and he's very passionate about the game. I loved OG. We never called him Coach Jefferson. We called him OG, and that's what he went by. And so even when you were watching the play, and you can't hear the audio, but his son is, he said that, I owe everything to my father. I remember us going in the backyard, running drills. He's very passionate about the game. I know he's proud of his son, right? But that's not the only game when you had a father versus a son. Who else had a game like that this past weekend? But they were coaching, their coaches, Curtis Mockins and Jet Mockins.
Okay.
So Curtis Mockins, the running back coach for the Broncos, and his son is the coach for the Lions now, which is funny because when I first came into the NFL, I was with Jet Mockins, little kid, and Coach Mockins would bring his son to the training camps, and so he'll be able to kick it with them, go in the players' lounge, hop on the card game, and I'll race him in the card game, have fun. We built a relationship, and then now he's a coach here for the Detroit Lions. Father-son duel. Playing against each other. Now, these are moments that, you cherish as a father. And, it's like a job well done to be able to look across the field and say, you know what? I'm proud. You did your job. I did my job.
That's right after the game, though.
That's after the game.
Because in the moment, he's hot.
Yeah, but in the moment, you're hot. It's game time. But when the game is over, you can look across the sideline, go take a picture with your dad, and say, Dad, I'm following in your footsteps.
So what's the room like today if you're the Rams because they won? But when I assume you do watch the film
24
study.
hour.
What?
24-hour rule.
You're feeling it for 24 hours.
No. But I'm asking, when you watch the film, do you watch it as a team? I would.
No.
Okay, or as an offense.
You do that by position, right?
No. So how it works is.
My question is what's the reaction when you're watching this from the offense as Stafford does this in the team room when you're together, because you haven't been together to watch this play all together yet. I just want to know if the guys are like hooting and hollering, going like, I want to know what's it like, because
right?
That's got to be like Christmas. Like if I made a play like that or made a catch or something, I know film's coming the next day and I know that play's going to be on. Oh wait, that's happened before.
Yeah, that's happened.
That's happened for me before.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. So
we'll
come in on Sunday. So we play on Sunday on Monday. We'll come in the next day. We'll watch film, and this is a short week for them because they have to play Seattle, I believe, on Sunday, and Seattle's been playing a little bit better as the weeks has gone by, and so they'll come in, they'll watch film. And what the coach will usually do, he'll have emphasis say, he'll bring out particular plays of the game that he'll highlight. That should be a play that he highlights because, like I said, and other broadcasters said after the show, it's not too many quarterbacks in the NFL that can make that type of pass. Only two I can think of is my homeboy, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the only two quarterbacks I think that can make that pass. Amazing pass. And Matthew Stafford, obviously. But we'll watch that film, and we'll all look back at Matthew Stafford. We'll say, great pass, and like, man, it's like this guy's something special. Like this guy's good, right? And so for you, as you sit back and look back right now, Sean McVay is looking like a hero, or he's looking like a genius because he made that trade from Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. And right now, no one's arguing that was a bad choice, a bad decision. You have a gamer on your team.
No, absolutely. And, bitter disappointment, I guess, for the Lions fans, for the draft capital fans, as the Rams now have the 25th pick in the first round. So we did suffer a couple of slots for that. But, again, you want the Cardinals to pull through. I'm very concerned about them, as I figured I would be. And once it got to December, this has been how the Cardinals have rolled as of late. And my problem with it all, Joik, is that it looked like it. It looked heavy on their minds. As you talked about, there was a lot of discombobulation with the Cardinals. It looked like they were feeling the pressure. It did.
Yeah, besides all that, I think the bigger picture is, Stafford played such a great game. All right, I think he has the most games. I think with 6. Where a quarterback's thrown 3 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He has more than any other quarterback in the league right now. But
I believe he also leads the league in pick sixes too, throwing pick sixes.
He might be
3 of them this year. But that's Matt Stafford, though. That's
depends what you're gonna get. The thing is, because he trusts his arm so much, and has so much confidence in his arm that he's willing to take those chances with those type of passes. But if you look at their record right now, it serves him well. Right?
No doubt.
It serves him well. That's his game. He's going to win and die by the sword. But you kind of look at it, and, yeah, man, they're looking really, really good. Teams play really well. Great teams play well in December. and they've been playing really well.
And that's my concern with the Cardinals, but the Cardinals will look to get right this weekend. They're rolling in to Ford Field to square up with the Lions. And look, if you took my advice, you hopped on your MyBookie account yesterday, and you jumped on the Rams, you're smiling here today too. Any way you want to do it is available to you at mybookie.ag. And look, you know that they're going to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. Like, let's just get down to it, guys. All right, one of the best deposit matching offers out there with MyBookie. Check. The availability to bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Check. You want to deposit in crypto? Check. You can do that with MyBookie. You want to get paid in crypto? Check. You can do that with MyBookie. Anything you want to get down on, if you caught some of the upsets over the weekend from UFC, congratulations to you. Hope you were on MyBookie using some of the extra funds you had available due to your deposit match. And once again, it's one of the very best deposit match offers in the game right now. Double your first deposit up to $1,000. Use the promo code Woodward, and you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. As Adam Baydoun likes to say, hey, you suck at gambling? Call the Gambling Problem Helpline. That's a funny tagline that he always uses. But seriously, though, if it's becoming a problem for you, call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Off and running here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the house. Our second annual Stuff a Studio is going on. Jake Wegener in our YouTube chat thread. Remember, you can tap in on the YouTube chat thread. Give your thoughts on the show. We'll read a lot of those in real time as the show is going on. Jake Wegener says, I like how the progress is being shown. It looks like Neil's drowning in toys behind it. And you guys see it right here. We got the light bright right here. All of that going on. So certainly the second annual Stuff a Studio is going on. And remember, you can come down to the Woodward Sports Studio, drop off toys. We're doing it all week long. 34915 Woodward Avenue, anytime between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. We got people in the studio right now. Big shout out to our guy Greg Chen, who came through, pulled up on us. Pulled up on us, dropped off a big stash of toys. We certainly do appreciate that. And there's our guy Greg Chen right there with Joik.
Joik, that's for the kids, man. You can't have
Joik,
that.
no,
Joik,
yeah.
I'm trying to see what we got.
You're trying to. We know you.
This is a Nerf gun. Just it fires right through your arm.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I was trying to.
We got the Funko Pop, the Spider-Man Funko Pop.
Very popular now. And just a regular race car that can shoot smokes.
There you go.
Listen. So my mom got me and my son these Nerf guns.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the worst decision she ever did.
Bro.
It's the worst decision she did. We around the house.
They're everywhere in our basement. Everywhere. In the lawn. I'm mowing the lawn. They're out there everywhere. You know, like it's crazy.
If you walk by one, will that spawn a game?
It might
if
spawn a
you
game.
walk by and you go, man, where's my gun?
So we had a chandelier in my entrance of my home, and so we shot it, and then they went into the chandelier and it burnt from the light. And so we had them everywhere, from the back of the couch, under the couch, in the chandelier, under the bed. We had them everywhere. But you know what, Greg? We appreciate this.
Yeah.
Where you from? Bloomfield Hill?
Yeah.
Bloomfield Hill? Well, appreciate you. Hey, here we go. My boy, was it Greg?
Greg Chen, yep.
Greg Chen. Appreciate you stopping by today.
No problem.
Yeah. Thanks for rolling in.
You know what it is, man? Like you said, now, usually how we usually do it, they can bring it from 8
8 to 10.
8 to 10 p.m.
8 a.m., 10 p.m., yep.
But as we get closer to that deadline, I think they're going to start staying the night in the studio, so you guys should bring it at 2 or 3 in the morning. Ain't that right, Stick?
Stick will be here 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day.
He never
Guy
sleeps
never
anyway.
sleeps.
Yeah.
Just an
Never
excuse. Just get thrown off his party.
No, Greg, we appreciate you. And more than that, I know the kids at Mott Children's Hospital appreciate you, too.
I'm a patient there also, so just want to give back.
My
Pay
guy,
forward,
man.
man. That's what we love.
Guys,
Thank you so much, Greg.
Hey, be more like Greg. Everybody in the world, be more like Greg, man. That's big time. So big thank you to Greg
Seriously.
Chen pulling up on us here. Second annual Stuff the Studio going on. And again, we're doing this for the Mott Children's Hospital. Greg can attest to it. So, let's get it done. Last year, over $70,000 in toys to the Mott Children's Hospital
The biggest in history.
Ann Arbor. The biggest donation in history, which I think Stick said it best when
We can do better.
Well, he did. That was the second part that he said
I'm
best.
sorry.
It was stunning to hear that. Just that was the biggest donation ever. We got to go above and beyond that. And again, and we're going to keep talking about it, man, because it's big to me. It's big to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see this get done. And big shout out to the folks at Myre, and a big shout out to the folks at Guardian Alarm. Stay out, man. Stay out, but stay in the studio and keep bringing the toys. Let's do that. But again, we're talking sports on our YouTube chat thread as well on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Pull up on us on the radio if you're listening on 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2 as well. And don't forget about the podcast page on iTunes. Big D Energy. Click subscribe. Latest episodes go right to your phone. If you're lazy like I am, it works out perfectly for you. So, again,
please, when you say that, please use as we are, like us, not him, but we as we are. Can I be lazy with you? Because I'm lazy too.
Yeah,
I'm lazy too.
Yeah, I mean, I am. Like, it's funny. Like this morning, it was cardio day at the gym, and you bang out the 4 miles and the core work and all that stuff. But that's easy. Like I can mentally. Do you mentally check out at the gym sometimes, where you're getting your work in and stuff like that?
You had to
but you
toe
had my
over
headphones
gear
in.
when you did
Yeah.
that?
So, because you do your cardio first?
Yes,
So
always first. I get it over with.
So
It's
I
like
do my
vegetables.
cardio last. I always do my cardio last because when I used to train, when I used to work out, when I did my cardio first, when I got to my workout, it would drain me from my workout. And so I would do my workout first and then do the cardio last. And then, if I have to take me 8 minutes to run or 9 minutes to run a mile, then I'm fine with that. At the end of the workout, I'm fine.
Oh, all right. See, because I'm always pushing against the clock all the time.
Yeah.
So that's
your
why I
workout.
do it first.
That's why you do it first.
Yeah.
Because you do your workout first, then you might not make those.
You
signs.
ain't making that time
Right.
if you do it after. No doubt about that. But happy to have everybody along for the ride. Steve Brown says, I thought the Rams defense made Kyler uneasy and he wasn't playing his game. And Steve, I agree with that because Aaron Donald was on one last night. He was on one last night, parlayed with the fact with the pressure of the game.
From play one.
Yeah.
From play
he was hitting
one.
different last night.
Child.
3. You know what it was? He had that gorilla. He had that gorilla in him. You know what it was? Though? It was you guys. People keep talking about we can't get past you guys. And Cardinals, for some reason, was one of those teams I could never get past when I played. We played them back-to-back years and lost to them both times. I don't know what it was about the Cardinals, but it was just different down there. But I can see why they might have a better record on the road because whenever they're home, it seems as if the opposing team always has more fans in the crowd than the Cardinals. It always seems that way. Even when we played there, we had a lot of fans in the crowd.
Well, nobody's from Arizona. It's like Florida. Nobody's from there. They just end up there because the weather's nice.
Just migrated there.
Yeah,
So,
people like me that have had enough. And the older I get, the worse and worse every winter gets. And I'm going to do that. When I retire, I think I may do
Arizona?
that. Arizona, Florida, just somewhere warm.
Texas.
Somewhere warm.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere warm. That's all I care about.
How come there's no Peyton cast last night?
I know that they
cast.
had some weeks where they weren't doing it. I don't know if they had obligations or whatever.
Yeah,
Is that when they wanted you to focus on how Steve Levy irritates Sawyer?
Don't do this to me because I told you guys this before. I don't crack on broadcasters.
No, I'm not cracking
man.
on him. I'm just saying that the alternative was nice.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything against that at all, ever. Right? Why would I?
They're only doing 10 weeks.
10 weeks it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just was flipping around looking for it. And then I was like, well, is this because it's Arizona and the Rams and they want me to, like, pay attention to the main broadcast? You know, draw all eyes in? Is that how they're doing it? They're not giving you... I just sort of missed it.
Oh, this about the...
I was just wondering if
the
there's a
Manning
reason.
cast. Yeah, they were off last night.
You know, so it was weird because I think we're looking at the picture, like how bad they played. They didn't play their best ball, obviously. They had 2 turnovers. I don't think the Rams had any turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. But you got to think, and they were only a 1 touchdown away from, you know, tying it up and going to overtime. You know, so that's how good they are. To play that bad, but still have an opportunity to go in and extend the game out to overtime and possibly win it in overtime. And so they're still a good team. They're still a good team, and you can't overlook them going into the future.
Yeah, and they lined up the schedules too that were next to each other. Just as far as what's left, I think the Rams are going to close pretty hard just based on the schedule they have. And then for Arizona, obviously they come here next week. They're a 14-point favorite early on as you check the lines at mybookie.ag. But then they got the Colts coming to town. Then they're at the Cowboys, and then they got the Seahawks coming to town. That's tough in the middle there.
I just realized that not only because you called it, but now last night with the Rams winning, but now the fact that Arizona lost, they're going to be angry coming into Detroit, so they should just polish the Lions off, which gets you your draft capital, which gets you happier. So you actually parlayed last night. Yes, thank you, Sawyer. There it is. Guys, look. We're getting there. Can you even imagine? There's not even snow on the ground outside, and we're at 13. The first snow. There's going to be 2 snows, but there's the first snow. This is like Game of Thrones. This is cool, right? So,
Jon Snow?
Yeah, but no, it's the first. We're waiting for the first snow, and after the second snow, we can really dive in to 34. But right now, this is where we're at. Buckle up with a mad Arizona.
Well, see, D-Mac, you know me, right? Like I take these games for the Lions. I take them one game at a time, and I know that's coach speak or cliche or everything like that. But you can't lose 2 games in 1 week. You can only lose 1 game in 1 week. So you really do have to stay focused. And I know that the Cardinals are a huge favorite in this game. I know they're a 14-point favorite, but you can't assume anything.
Oh, you're not feeling confident?
You can't assume anything, D-Mac. This is what separates hobbies from professionals. Okay,
are you getting a job with the Lions?
You have to rise up. You have to rise up and make sure.
No, what you said, the Arizona Cardinals are going to be very, very upset because they just lost, right?
I'm thinking.
So the Lions lost too, but the Lions lost too, so they upset. They need to do something.
But you can't just assume.
I thought you. But wait, holy cow! I thought you'd be like Arizona. That's perfect. They're going to come in here and just.
You can't just throw your helmet and shoulder pads out there on the field and assume you're going to lose. You have to go ahead and lock in and make sure you lose out, because look, I know that.
But does this not make you refocus? Like,
well,
focus even more that because you just lost on a game that was national against a team that you had. Now you got to come bounce back. You got to make sure you win this game.
So no, I'm talking for the Lions. I'm talking for the Lions. Like you can't just throw your equipment out there and lose the game. Like you have to not execute the plays necessary to get that loss, to protect that draft capital. Because look, through all this, and you saw the DMAC tracker with the 13 all the way through.
Thank goodness.
Yes, we're 13 through, and yes, there's 4 to play. But this is when you really have to lock in and lose.
This is you're waiting, sound the horns when we've locked in number 1.
There you go.
Then I can sound the horns.
To quote Kobe Bryant, the job's not finished. I know that we love our spot. I know we do, but the job's not finished yet, and you have to lock in.
Well, what if your job was knocking down, maybe it was throwing the football?
What if your job was going out and having a good time? You know what I would say? Stop by the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck, home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. You can host your corporate party, team building event. Just pull up on Foaling Warehouse with family and friends. Woodward Sports had our holiday party out there as well. They have 100 beers available, over 100 beers available. A $2 mystery beer vending machine, our very own Sawyer. Pull the PBR, put $2 in, pull the PBR out. He was the big winner, and it had nothing to do with the football or the bowling pins, but Sawyer was a big winner at the Mystery Beer Machine. There's multiple full bars. You're hungry, you can have food delivered, you can bring food in with you. It's totally up to you, however you want to handle it. The Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck. Your coworkers have done it. Your family and friends have done it. They've all had a great time. Go in there and see what you're missing out on. It's one of the very best spots in Hamtramck, in Detroit. Make it a stop on your night out. The Bowling Warehouse. Come get your foal on. Check it out. bowlingwarehouse.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
And a miraculous catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Joy Bell, Fish, and Sawyer here. Also happy to have you guys all along for the ride. Remember to jump in our YouTube chat thread on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And, you know, it's an opportunity. We didn't really get a chance to discuss it a lot yesterday when we had Terry Foster and D-Mac in here. But we got Joy. We're squad deep up in here. Just taking a look at the NFL, Joyke, and I'm curious to pick your brain on it. Was there anything that happened in the NFL, around the NFL, maybe a result, the play, anything like that? What grabbed your attention from the weekend that was in the National Football League? The 0-0 up there, Jacksonville Jaguars 0-0. I'm a fan.
Nothing about the games, but I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was the Lions going 1-11-1. All those ones means good energy. 1-1-1-1-1. I saw that. If you look at my IG, I posted it last night at 11-11. It's more good energy. So that we're kind of securing up that number 1 draft pick. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, but the job's not finished. That's always going to be my line now. The job's not finished. What about you, D-Mac? Anything that jumped out at you?
Kansas City putting not only offense 7 in a row, putting 48 on, but quietly that defense has been playing great. I know that they put a stat up on Monday Night Football about the first half, past 5 games they haven't allowed 10 points, and if they seems like they got their offense right. It seems that Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, who's a huge part of their defense, is healthy. They look like that Kansas City Chiefs team that we expect them to be. So I don't think they're going to slow down. That's where the experience will kick in. But again, just like everybody else, they got to stay healthy.
No, they do, and that's been the gig for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're getting it together. And they're looking very, very scary. I mean, for me, it was, the continued slide of the Buffalo Bills. And I know, like, they came back and they fought back to force overtime. But guess what? We're in December now.
That win. Defense isn't what the big
what we were told.
Defense, what we were told. What were we told, Neil? That these guys were the next sort of coming. It was the defense. They had Josh Allen.
The best show on turf.
Well, he had 3 touchdowns and he threw for 300, ran for 100, but that gets you in the stats book, doesn't get you in the win column. So they battled hard, but why are they getting behind? And I guess if you're part of the Bills Mafia, I guess you would be a little bit worried, as you should. I would be right now.
No, there is no question about it. And so, people were anointing them and praising them and saying they were going to be next, and it was Josh Allen's time and everything like that. But again, we are in December now. It's for keeps. I was poking fun. I'm taking a little bit of heat on the YouTube chat thread for the remarks about the Lions. I'm just telling you guys, you got to lock in. I know the Cardinals are coming in. They're mad and everything like that. I know that. I know they're a 14-point favorite. There's no earthly reason why the Lions should win this game. But you can't just assume it, guys. You got to go out and not execute to get the job done. And that's something where we need to see the Detroit Lions do that. But, yeah, I mean, so far as the other stuff, and those were some of the obvious ones, were going to be, the Chiefs and certainly Buffalo losing again. But I will say too, like if you look at what and it's quiet too. It's been really quiet what's happened with it, and you don't hear much about it. But I will relate this to the Lions because people were discussing this. The Atlanta Falcons are 6-7. The Washington football team has the last playoff spot as it sits right now at 6-7. The Atlanta Falcons somehow, some way, have pieced this thing together. And I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but that 8 weeks ago when we were perusing the NFL schedule.
Wait. There's a smell. There's a smell in the standings, and it's Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they won't go away. But what? So you're bringing them up because you think they're legit?
No, it's just the fact that they're there.
They're just
the fact
around.
that they're there.
Right.
Because 8 weeks ago when we looked at the schedule, Joik, the one
it's a tough conference.
The one commonality was, well, I really think, and this is across the board. There were people in the YouTube chat thread, my friends, a lot of my friends, people here have said it before too. Oh, that Falcons game, I think the Lions could win that game. That could be the win that they go get on the road.
Yeah.
They're in the mix, man. Like, we can say what we want about them, but they pieced it together somehow.
Their division is, aside from Tampa, who's playing well in that division right now?
Nobody.
Exactly. And so I'm not looking at them saying they're a good team. I'm looking there saying they're the better of the worst. But
the Saints are 6-7. The Falcons are 6-7. They're in the mix for the playoffs.
What's the Panthers?
The Panthers are 5-8.
5-8. Yeah, no one's in that conference outside of Tampa is playing well right now in that division.
Well, everybody's within a game. Like, literally everybody is within a game of a playoff spot. So it's just, to me, the way that we just totally dismiss the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, and I'm not saying if they do, they're going to go in and beat the Rams or anything like that if they had to play the Rams. I am saying somehow, some way, they pieced it together.
Well, they changed the playoff system too, so
right. I know.
So it could. So that's why they got to be on the radar with this late, and then this should make you feel better with your draft capital and locking down the number one pick and losing that Atlanta too. There's another team other than Green Bay, other than Arizona, stuff to play for. That's what you want when they come in. Don't lose sight of coming in and whacking Detroit. So you can have as I say, because draft capital and the number one pick is the only thing that matters to you.
Because it's the only thing that can, it's the most valuable tool that this team can get.
It's the precious.
No.
It's the precious. Don't mess with Neil's precious.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. And I know that, on the YouTube chat thread, I forget who it was that said, have you noticed McShay's latest mock draft? And I would assume that they're going to say they have Aiden Hutchinson going number 1 to the Lions. I hadn't looked at it personally, but I know there's a lot of talk with that. And I think we're to the point now.
Because it was addressed to you?
It was, yeah.
No, so that's why it would be.
I would assume, yeah. I was putting 2 and 2 together there. But with all that being said, I think we're to the point with the draft now where you'll see that, and you'll see McShay do this with Hutchinson, I think, and then in 2 weeks you'll see him switch it and say the Lions are going to take Thibodeau, then switch it back, because that's how you keep getting clicks and things like that. Like, let's be real about it. But still, I think you're going to see, we're in a spot now with the draft where the top 3 to 5 are the top 3 to 5, and now it comes down to how your department, your scouting department, your talent evaluation department, how they value them and which direction they want to go. And I will say this too, guys. We were speaking about cardio earlier. I was at Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness in Troy. They're good people over there. I'm big fans of theirs. But still, on ESPN, on the hundreds of televisions they have, they were talking about the draft. And oh, by the way, in a draft where everybody hates all the quarterbacks, right? They're starting to work their way in now. Now they have 5 quarterbacks being taken in the first round. And guys, they have the Lions taking the last one with Sam Howell.
That's what the Rams pick?
That's what the Rams pick. That's what the prognostic. And they get the last quarterback.
Wow.
Guys, quarterbacks are going to get taken. They are. And when you go through the combines, when you go through the workouts and everything like that, quarterbacks are going to be in demand. I know everyone, that's blasphemy to everybody that's watching and listening right now, but that's the case. Quarterbacks are going to be in demand, And Joik, it's a lot like we talk about with the running backs and how running backs have become devalued. Quarterbacks have been so valued because that rookie contract is such a discount to market. If you're a good quarterback, you're making 35, 40, 42 million a year. If you're on a rookie quarterback contract, you're making 7 to 8 million a year. That's why they're going to value it.
That's true. And you think about it, you look at those numbers, the bottom line. And that's one thing about when we think about it with the new CBA, the new rules they made, the new changes where they're putting a cap on these rookie contracts so they can take that money and put it on the back end and be able to spread that out amongst the teams, the guys who's been there kind of proving themselves.
Right.
And so you have a young guy coming in giving you all this value on a rookie contract. Kyler Murray is one guy. Even Patrick Mahomes was that guy before he re-upped on this deal. And we have multiple guys like that around the NFL. What was that?
No, and in saying that, right to your point, and I'm going to bring this all the way around back to you, Gollum, right, because if you guarantee me the first overall pick, right, which gives me 33rd, and I have to take Sam Howell with that Rams pick because of what you said about that rookie quarterback contract, I like him. Can be developed, doesn't have to be your end-all, be-all, but you guaranteed what you had, I would take that. But I'm more of a Legolas. So I'm going over to Gollum and Mike G, thanks for that. Would you take that right now, or would you still gamble?
No, I think that there is a bit of a gamble to like a Sam Howell pick. For me, and I'll be honest, I'll be the one media guy in the world that's honest about it. I didn't watch a ton of Liberty's games. So, like Malik Willis.
Oh, blasphemy.
I've seen him play twice this year.
If you don't play out west late night when I can got my gypsy vodka twirling in my thing.
Well, that's the problem. Like Liberty's got to
bougie.
mix in a game in Hawaii, and then that way, or play the Mountain West teams, then I will watch. Sam Howell was the guy that, I like some of the throws that he can make. Again, for me, I'm a dual threat guy. I want a guy that can, quote unquote, make plays with his feet. I know that's a catchphrase that everybody likes to use. Howell is the one that I watched probably more than the rest, and I like some of the abilities to make throws. But guess what? I'm not in the Lions scouting department. That's not my job. That's their job. And if they like him, then yeah, guys, get your head wrapped around this. And I already see it on here. Canuck Duke wouldn't waste a first or a second round pick on any quarterback in this class. Duke, it's not the quarterbacks. It's the contracts. And you're talking about lottery tickets for the most part. And if you want to take a spin at the roulette wheel, you're going to have to do it because guess what? 4 other teams in front of you are going to do it. It's going to happen, guys. Mentally prepare yourselves for it because it's going to happen. They're going to take the quarterbacks, man. They just are. We see it all the time. Our guy Adam Baydoun says Willis has so many fundamental issues. I don't like it. But, it's going to be one of them, guys. Be ready for it because my master plan is already being compromised, as I saw when I saw the mock draft. Ajabo's worked his way into the top 10 now of some of the mock drafts. And, wait till the combine when he cooks on that 40-yard dash time with that size. Wait. Joik, wait. He's going to be a top 7 pick, top 6 pick, top 8 pick. He's going to be, man.
You know what I care about? That number 1 pick. That's all we care about right now.
No, I know.
That's all we care about.
I know, and that's where it's going to be down to the Lions brass to weigh the Hutchinson, weigh the Thibodeau, and figure all that out. But just prepare your minds for the Lions to take a quarterback with that second first-round pick because it's coming. Just like every weekend, I prepare my mind when I sit down on that couch, get the kids to bed or whatever, and pour a glass of the Gypsy Vodka. Michigan's gluten-free vodka took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy is the best-tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. It's gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times, uses artesian spring water fish.
No,
it tastes a lot better than that sounded, folks.
Wait.
Can't speak anymore.
Yeah. Support local guys from right here in Michigan. Gypsy Vodka out of Petoskey. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
It's on and popping here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell back in the house, sitting in that captain's chair. Clomp Sauce says Fish needs some gypsy vodka to loosen up those vocal cords. Mike G, Fish sounded like Ed Orgeron.
I do. I'm dying over here.
Oh, man. Mike wants to know, what the hell was that, Fish? As always, Fish steals the show because that's what it is with Fish. But we've been talking a lot of football here today on a Tuesday. And Juice's Ghost says, I'm cool with the Rams pick being a flyer on a quarterback. Worst case, we still have 2 firsts the next year to move up and take Bryce Young. And we've seen that too. Like with the Cardinals, what did they do? They took a quarterback. They didn't care. They had a chance to get Kyler Murray. What did they do? They went in and got Kyler Murray. Like, you're seeing people do that. And again, I think the root of it is, and I'd be curious, I'm not in those press conferences. Maybe I'll go down to one of them or something like that. That would be my question to an NFL GM. How much does the discount to market come into play with all these quarterbacks being taken? It has to come, because you're getting a 4-to-1 discount.
Yeah, no, and I guess it all depends on where you're at, right? And in your process of where you're building. So that's like, whether you have to, you don't, where you're on the salary cap. I think like everything plays out so much because of where the dollar is. Right? Where the dollar is and how your quarterback can sit or can't. It's not like we're talking about a running back where what's the top end of the running back? What's the biggest running back make? 15? Right? Million like that. So most running backs, you're arguing between 5 and 10 million. Right? So you're arguing a smaller player. Quarterback, you're talking huge because you're talking initial contract with the way it's in. Can you develop a guy? That's why I say specifically, I would have took, if you say you have to take 1 and 33, but you have to take Sam Howell with that Rams pick, I would, because to your point, I've seen him make throws that I think can be developed and stuff like this. He might not be your future, but he's going to be your buffer to that guy in the future that you're not afraid to. Because I think this class, unless somebody comes out, they're going to be that buffer class, right? The guys that'll might be good pros or guys that are backups or somebody that's in there for a few years, but not the end-all be-all. They're probably coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it hurts Joik's soul to talk about this. When you bring that up, the gap, gap in running back pay versus the gap in quarterback play, it hurts you to your core.
Well,
doesn't
it's the same thing, Joy. It's the same thing in hockey. You tell the kids back in the day, it was told easy. You want to make the money, you score the goals. You want the girls, go bleed. There you go.
Now, one of the most, if not the most undervalued position on the field. And then the shortest
career span.
What if everybody boycotted running back?
Yeah.
There's no more running backs. Everybody just is a receiver.
Because they can go out there on the street and just get a guy that you can put in there that's not going to hurt you, but just do the job, because you can win. You can go to the Super Bowl and probably win the Super Bowl with having a subpar running back. You can probably do that.
You probably could, yeah. And I guess that's what it boils down to. There's just not. It's just not valued, man, because of what you said. And I know, and look at it on our YouTube channel chat thread.
Illegal Reynolds yesterday had a great game on Sunday.
Yeah,
for us,
great.
A guy who came out didn't have any D1 offers. Played, got an opportunity to play yesterday, and his story is a lot similar to mine, and. You can go out there and find guys like that and get these guys to come in here and play well and put your team in the best position to win. If not, not put your team in a position to lose. It's not going to hurt you.
It's funny though, on the YouTube chat thread, D-Mac, they're firing in Klomp Sauce. Rather use that pick on the line, offensive or defensive line.
D-line, linebackers. Yeah.
Day Walker picks are not going to help the Lions stop it. Picks help the Lions this year. They help the Lions this year. Lions Rumble 81, Sam Howell. I don't know about that pick. Dom Rivera, why deal with a Mitch Trubisky when you could get a solid linebacker? What's the difference between him and Goff? Because of the value, because of the contract value, guys. I'm trying to.
That's where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
I'm sitting and you're going, hey, here you go, but to hamper down if that's what you're looking for, because what are you trying to build around? You look at, they went with the process. We mentioned this yesterday when we talked about the offensive line or the running game, right, which got Craig going the other day, which I want to ask Joy. I see, because does Joy see similarities in him and Craig Reynolds? Because I see it in how hard he runs. He runs hard, man. You run hard. You know what I'm saying? Do you see similarities between
Reynolds?
And Reynolds?
Yeah, Reynolds. If you look at him, one thing that he runs hard, but the thing that people might overlook, he has really good vision and he has really good anticipation. Like being able to sit there and let it set up, run through that tackle. I mean, good speed. It's not elite, but it's good speed to get you to hit the field. And you have guys like that are hungry, right? The guys like this, they're not just playing just to be out there. They're playing with it's a mission
for their life, man. They're playing for their life.
And rewind it back a little bit right here, just about 10 seconds. Just take it back about 10 seconds. If you watch this play and you see how he's patient and he doesn't just hit the hole, he lets the play develop. He takes a slight stutter, which that's very crucial, because if you look right here, he takes that and then he sees it and he hits it. And the thing is, when it opens, he doesn't hit it right now, because you can't get the ball, see the hole, and run right now because they'll close up. You want to press that O-line and then say skinny off of your blocks, which is what he did right there, and ran through some arm tackles.
It's like Madden. Or that you gotta, the turbo, you know what I mean? You gotta hit that hole and then juke it at the same time.
Yeah, and just
in real life
play really well, and then I think he'll have some more opportunities. And that's the funny thing, the better you do with your opportunity, the better you'll be, right? The more chances you'll get, rather. So he did well this game. All right, let's see what you do next game, and then now you're going to put those coaches, you're going to put that front office in a position to when these guys start to come back. Do we want to get rid of this guy, or do we want to keep him? And if you put them in that position, then you've done your job. Right? You've done your job. You just want to stick around until you get your shot. And this guy got his shot, and he'll get more.
Yeah, and Craig Reynolds certainly turned some heads. Pro Football Focus had him as the highest-rated running back for Week 14. I know Dan Campbell had some things to say about Craig. Come on, Craig. We'll get Sawyer to run that one for you. Dan Campbell talking about Craig Reynolds.
I just think his consistency, he was steady. I mean, it's when you go into a game with a guy that hasn't played for you and you have a lot of trust for him, that's rare. And I would say I felt that way about it. Like, I didn't have one, just as a play caller, I didn't have one problem handing the ball to him. Like, I trusted him because I see it every day in practice against our defense. And I see him take reps for us offensively, because Swift's been down and Jamal. And so he's been doing things in practice for us offensively. He's been getting reps. So, and he's smart, man. He doesn't make mental errors. He's got vision as a runner. He's tough. He can protect, and he's got a little something as a receiver out of the backfield. So, and I would say what he did yesterday was that didn't surprise any of us. I said that yesterday, but he did exactly what we thought he would do. And I think had we been able to hang in there a little bit longer and play we didn't get behind, I think you'd have seen a guy who would have rushed for a lot more yards than just what he did. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was impressive to see what he did. Brad and I will talk about all that this afternoon and tomorrow. But I know this, we like him a lot.
And that was Dan Campbell talking about Craig Reynolds and his performance. Again, the highest rated running back in Week 14, which is saying something, Joy. When you lose 38-10 and you get cooked the way the Lions did, he must have been impressive, man.
What I saw from him, like I said, good vision, good feet, good patience, good burst of speed. When I say he ran hard, ran through some arm tackles, made some major plays, and put his team in a position to win. So when you can go out there on the street and find a guy like that at a lower value, right, that makes you look like a genius. And that's the whole point of the front office, going out there and trying to find guys like this to be able to bring in to put your team in a position to be successful. And so no matter how much I hate being undervalued as a running back, for the team and for the front office, it makes them look like geniuses to be able to go out there and find a guy like this to come in. Now, the thing is going to be is this is our first time really seeing him. Let's see how consistent he can be when teams start the game plan against him. And then that's when that's the big part right there.
Well, it's funny to me, Joe, like all of a sudden DeAndre Swift's all right now. Like he's going to be back.
Yeah.
That's weird how that happens. Huh?
I'm going to tell you this. I remember I was playing in New Orleans, and I had a hairline fracture in my knee, but I was practicing through it, and I got to a point where I said, you know what, it's too painful. I have to rehab it. So they went out and they got a guy to come in for, say, 1 week while I rehabbed. That I came back, and Coach Sean Payne brought me in this office and said, listen, Joy, we like you a lot, but we brought a kid off the street. He was on the couch. We brought him in, and he looks really good. Stay healthy. That's what he told me. He said, stay healthy. Because that's how quick it is. Like, it can really happen that fast. A guy can come in and he can take your job. And so, regardless of how you feel, you got to learn how to start playing through pain, and not only playing through pain, but also being productive. That's the big part, being productive while you're playing through while you're playing through the pain. If you're not injured, get out there.
Do you remember the couch kid's name?
No.
Okay. So.
I never met him.
No, but it could have been somebody, and he went on to be this guy that we knew.
Yeah,
it was nobody. Back to the couch.
Yeah.
Back to the couch. Lions Rumble 81 says, Craig. Juices Ghost says, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. So that's anytime you can get a Friday reset in there, I'm definitely all about that. But there was another key component to the Lions' running game that certainly was big, and we're going to talk about them when we come back. But I do want to remind you, our second annual Stuff a Studio is going on now, brought to you by Guardian Alarm and Myre as well, right here at the Woodward Sports Studio. You see it here behind me. It's everywhere. I got the light bright right here. You want to show me your MIT skills? Go ahead and get me a picture of a house.
Stay out.
Yeah. All right, Fish. Let's leave it. Let's leave it in the holster, man, until 12:50. All right, you got to rise to the occasion. But
no one's staying out of your house when you do that crap.
Yeah, you'll scare them out of the house. But no, we're filling up this studio with toys. As you see, it continues to grow and grow. Right here at the Woodward Sports Studio. Our address 34915 Woodward Avenue in the heart of Birmingham. And again, a special shout out to Guardian Alarm and Myre. And we're trying to bring a Christmas to all the kids at Mott Children's Hospital. Remember, some of these kids have been in that Mott Children's Hospital all year long. So if we can help, make it a brighter holiday, then let's do that. Anybody that wants to pull up on us down here, come on through, donate some toys, drop off some toys so we can give them. Last year, Woodward Sports donated over $70,000 to Mott Children's Hospital. It was the largest donation in history. We're going to smash that. Like, you should smash the like button on the YouTube channel. We're going to smash that $70,000 mark this year, and we're doing it again. You can drop off a toy anytime this week between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. at the Woodward Sports Studio. Again, 34915 Woodward Avenue in downtown Birmingham. It's Stuff a Studio time, people. Let's do it for the Mott Children's Hospital.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, 94.7 HD2 as well. My name is Neil Rule. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the captain's chair.
El Capitan.
Fish in the bowl. Sawyer in the booth. Happy to have you all with us here today. And we were talking about the stuff in studio. If you're not able to bring a toy down here, go to woodwardsports.com. There's a Venmo available on there if you did want to donate. Certainly you can do that as well. Trying to set that off this year. The stuff in studio for the children at the Mott's Children Hospital. So, again, getting into this, we were talking a little bit about Craig Reynolds and what he did, but his name hasn't come up in a couple of weeks here. And Pro Football Focus, we were talking about Craig Reynolds. Penei Sewell has been popping off lately as well in terms of his play. And he was the number 1 rated offensive tackle last week, and we continue to see these numbers with Penei Sewell. And Joik, I think it's easy to say that he learned on the job pretty quickly, and he's been a road grader as of late.
Yeah, if you remember when we had Lomas Brown on the show, he talked about how good this would be for him to be able to learn multiple positions because, like coaches always would tell me, the more you can do, the longer you stick around. And the way that he's playing, he's going to be around a long time.
Yeah, and he's going to be a cornerstone for this franchise. And I'll tell you what, D-Mac, a lot of people talked about the Micah Parsons angle and all that kind of stuff. I think the Detroit Lions did just fine.
No, they absolutely addressed the need, decided that this is the direction, Brad Holmes, that we're going. We're going to work on the offensive line, defensive line inside first. And, yeah, this guy's a talent. He's a pro. He's proven it by getting better. Some games are going to be better than others when you're a rookie. You got to allow. You remember this kid's 20 years old.
Right.
Just turned 21. He just turned 21, but he started the season at 20 years old. So give him a break. And last year he didn't play, so this is all coming back. Now it's all about character, and obviously with Hank Fraley and Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker being there, being great influences on him, but he was working hard. And when you have the ability to have a stalwart like that, you look to it. You look around. That's exactly to the same degree as what the Red Wings got in a Mo Sider, right? And these two should be friends because they'll probably be here for 10, 15 years together. So that's what it reminds me of, just looking across. But yeah, you got to be happy. It's just which direction were you going to go?
Yeah. AC says the afternoon show guys wanted Micah Parsons, and that that's fine too. He seems to be a pretty good player as well. Both things can be true, guys. Like there can be multiple players that are good. But you knew the afternoon show guys were going to want that. He's a Big Ten guy. Like they're compromised.
It's one of these things. Which are you gonna? You're at a fork in the road, and which way are you gonna go? There's chicken and there's beef. I
you're
guess
hungry. There's no wrong turn.
Which one you going to, McDonald's or Burger King? What are you gonna do? So, and it's different depending on what you're building. So for us, because it's a longer term, because Micah Parsons, yes, he would have stood out here, but would he stood out like he does with that Dallas team? So it's always a question to ask. I think we got I agree with you. I think we got the right guy anyways.
Yeah, it's certainly too fitting for what they were looking to do, what they were looking to accomplish. I mean,
the interesting thing, the conversation in another world would be if the Bengals stayed on board and took Sewell, would the Lions have taken
Micah Parsons?
Yeah. That would be the conversation, right?
But even with the Bengals, looks like Jamar Chase worked out all right.
That's their guy. So I think everybody, how often, we always in the media not you and I, not Joy, of course, but the media, so to speak, always wants to focus on the negative.
Always.
But the positive is maybe every team got the piece to their puzzle that they were supposed to. You ever get that? You know, like maybe it's like a box of chocolates. Right? And everybody got the chocolate, the assorted one that they wanted. Like, I didn't want the one with the cherry in it, but you did, and you got it. And I got the one with the almond in it, and you got the one with the hazelnut in it.
I think we can all agree that one with the strawberry cream in there is awful. I think that's...
I'll take that one.
The cherry one with the cherry in there?
No, I don't want that one. I like the one with the
delicious.
Strawberry cream in
I want the one with the cherry in there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants that one.
That's the whole thing is I think everybody's happy with where they're sitting, what they got at the table. It's always interesting.
I always turn the food in here.
Because that's the way it works for everybody.
It is.
So you're like the only guy that I think would want the chocolate with that strawberry cream. Sawyer, you know the one I'm talking about, right? The one you hope you don't get.
I don't like the mint one. I like the strawberry one, not the mint one or the
mint one.
Neil can have those. He likes that.
No.
Yeah, you do, Boosh.
You know what? I'm starting to gravitate towards mint, though. Like the mint cookies and cream shake that you can get at Steak and Shake. Those are delicious to me. Those mint cookies and cream. But anyway, let's get back. I had a question for you. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't see it happening, but you obviously see something I don't see. Do you really see us taking a quarterback?
Yeah.
In this first round?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
5 teams are going to take quarterbacks in the first round. 5.
I don't see us taking a quarterback in the first round.
The discount to market, because you're not going to get one with that second round pick.
I hear what
you're not going to get one.
We also know that we have 2 first round draft picks next year too.
Right. No, I understand that.
So what quarterback we have to have?
No, I'm not saying they have to have one, Joik. Again, guys, don't get this twisted.
Ain't about it. This is how it fits into the salary cap. How
I'm not
it fits
saying
into the contract.
that they have to take a quarterback.
Because the guy's
I'm not saying
there.
that. But I am saying you're starting to see this now in the mock drafts. 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. And I forget who said it on the YouTube chat thread. 7 of the last 18 Super Bowl winners in the rookie contract era have had quarterbacks on rookie contracts. That's just the way the game works. It's worth the spin. The savings is worth the spin. And that's why there's a very good possibility that they could do it. I don't know what they value. I'm not in that scouting department. I don't know what the grades are for all the quarterbacks and things like that. But remember, we haven't had the combine. We haven't had any of that stuff yet. The Senior Bowl, all that stuff. So just prepare yourselves mentally. Because I forget what date the draft is, April 23rd or 28th, whatever the date the draft is. I don't want to do that show the next day and just see, oh my God, how could they do this? Nobody saw this coming. It's already starting to manifest itself, guys. You're going to hear that sound. The Pittsburgh Steelers are very much in play to take Kenny Pickett. Very much in play. And they're not... The Steelers have proven they're pretty savvy when it comes to the draft. The discount to market with quarterback contracts will afford that to happen in this year's draft. You're going to see it. Guys, 5 first-round quarterbacks will be taken. I know that none of you think that there are any quarterbacks in this draft that are first-round pick caliber in your minds. But 5 of them are going to go. At least 4 of them for sure. Just get ready for that, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Watch if the dominoes fall that way.
I'm all about building up this defense. I'm all about that. Now, these first 3 picks, I'll take all defensive players if they're there. If they're there. You know, I don't think Aiden's going to be there if we don't get him on the very, very first pick. Thibodeau won't be there if we don't get him on the first pick. But if Ajobo is there,
he's already top 10 and climbing. Joik, I told you how this was going to go down with him. Wait till he runs a 40 at the combine. Wait, he's going to be 6, 7. Wait,
God. And that's the thing, to have 2 D linemen from the same team going in the top. You think he might make top 5?
He could, depending on the combine, man. I mean, again,
and
I'm not even talking about football, Joik. Dude is what, 6'4", 250 pounds?
255, something like that.
Was a state champion sprinter in New Jersey.
10-9.
Not like in Montana.
10-9, he ran at 10-9.
Won the state championship as a sprinter in New Jersey. Like, wait till he runs at 40, man, and unleashes that, and everyone
But
blows.
he might be top end speed though. He might be able to pick up as he goes. So his 40 might be like a 4.5, 4.6, which would be good.
But I'm saying though, wait, it's only going to climb. Quarterbacks and David Ajabo, those are the two commodities that are going to rise up the board.
So we're not going to be able to.
You're not. No, that's a pipe dream at this point.
So at this moment, at this time right now, who do you have going top 5 for you?
I mean, again,
no. When I say give me our first 3 picks, what you would like to see, because there's no way we can get Thibodeau and Aiden, right? We can't.
No.
Which one would you take first if you had the first overall?
No, I mean, for me, again, it's all up to that scouting department. I think that Thibodeau has a higher ceiling. I do think that. Like, if you're getting into ceilings and stuff, like, I'm concerned, is this Aiden Hutchinson's ceiling? Does he have another gear? I don't know. How much of Hutchinson's success is dependent on Ajabo, who is going to be a top 10 pick too.
But how much success is Ajabo based off of
Right,
Hutchinson?
but we're not talking about Ajabo right now. We're talking Thibodeau against Hutchinson. These are the questions that are going to be asked. I know that everyone's just going to take that and run with it and say you're being a hater and stuff like that, but I'm not. These are the discussions that go on, Joey. Ceiling comes into play. How does a combine work out? How do things go at the combine? Does Thibodeau crap the bed?
Taking that car in, getting the shine all on it, just show off the shine, do it. That's what it is. Like you said, we let the track skills. If you're talking potential, you got to like a Ajabo, but these are questions that you got to wait to. So I agree with you. You can't really honestly answer it right now. I would say subject to change. I would take Hutchinson first, but that's just because I'm thinking more durability. I'm more worried about durability. It's like building a character, right? What do you want? I think the kid's durable, but is that his ceiling? Am I good with that? Yeah, because I see comparables of what I need with the guy with a motor running like that. Guy, you can't replace a motor.
Sure,
right? A guy that's
motor
always
guys
running.
are motor guys. That's where when you break it all down, D-Mac, you go, does the motor make up for the lack of ceiling, or is there a perceived lack of ceiling?
And that goes down, and all the stuff that what Joy's talking about as far as the drafting the defense or following along draft a quarterback. That doesn't matter because it's another fork. There's going to be a bunch of different forks in the road. Which way is Brad Holmes going? And then we'll see then.
Lions Rumble 81 says, pick some of those gorillas, Joy.
That's what we need, man.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
The bottom line is, I just don't want to draft someone that comes in here and in 4 years is looking for a career change, D-Mac.
Well, that might happen with your quarterback that you're going to get the minimum contract on that you sort of like flyer it on because it's economical. You say that, but if you go because the quarterbacks come off, that's what you're preparing yourself for. But that's the luxury to having 3 first-round picks.
So this is what it is. And you talk about 4 years, you don't want a guy to come in, and 4 years later, he's off to another team, right?
Or just looking to make a career change.
Looking to make a career change. And when you want to make a career change, you can easily go from playing football, playing basketball.
To the heating and cooling industry?
The heating and cooling industry. I like that. That was a good segue right there. I loved it. Great job. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential to cooling and heating industry. To learn more about it today, go to northwesterntech.edu. Even better yet, you can hit up Neil Rule because he's looking for a career change right now. Stay tuned in.
Easy
I'm
now.
Joe Bell. I'm Neil Rule. That's Aaron McCarty. And this is Big D Energy. Pull up on me.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. Back
at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Remember, the Detroit Lions game day experience, Woodward Sports has you covered for all of it. The pregame show will be live at the Tin Roof in downtown Detroit. My guy Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, Maz, and Jade from WRIF will host the pregame show live on Woodward Sports and 101.1 WRIF. That's brought to you by the good folks at Jose Cuervo and Woodward Sports. And then since you're going to be downtown anyway, pull up on the brass rail for the postgame. Stick and Hanson put on a pretty good show out there. That's brought to you by Jim Beam and Truly at the brass rail, one of my favorite spots in downtown Detroit. They start the broadcast at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game. They get reactions, crowd interactions, all that kind of stuff. There's DJs, drinks, a Woodward VIP section with food and more. Every Lions home game wraps up at the Brass Rail Detroit. Woodward Sports certainly has you covered there. Some of our comments here on our YouTube chat thread. Remember, tap in on the YouTube channel for Woodward Sports. Travis Lampman, to pick it's Hutchinson, at least right now. And look, guys, it's going to change. It'll go back and forth. That's the way that it always works. Juice's Ghost says Ajabo going back for his senior year. I don't know, man.
Well, no. What? Huh? What? What?
Joy,
you know what? I'm gonna tell you. You know what though? I'm gonna tell you this story, and this story is gonna blow you because this is before they had. I think this was like the last year that they had the no salary cap on rookie contracts, and that was the year I was coming out, right? And we had a guy who, if he would have came out the previous year, right? He should have came out in 2009, but he waited to 2010 to come out. He went back to school for his senior year. He was a lottery pick in 2009 to draft. Went back to USC and dropped and lost millions.
Oh, I know who. What was his? I forgot his name.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Who I'm talking. I'm gonna say his name, but you're gonna know as soon as I say
100%.
You want to guess?
I can't remember.
You can't. Taylor Mays.
Taylor Mays, safety.
Yeah. For USC was a top 5 pick.
Oh, everybody wanted that guy.
He was going to touch nothing less than 55 million. Nothing less. Went back for his senior year. Did not play to the capability of which he played the previous year. Dropped in the draft to the second round and played, I think, 6 or 7 years in the league, but could have been a lot longer if he would have came out in 2009. Would have got an extra contract. Would have been sitting on millions. Missed out on a lot of money. A lot of money. And so, Ajobo, you can go back if you want to. I'll tell you one thing. Michigan isn't going anywhere. Michigan is always going to be there. Always.
Yep.
And even if you don't, right, you know, you're going to get drafted high right now. Go get the money. You can always go back to school. You can always go back to school.
That's what I always say. You can write that in your contract when you sign that they take care of it. I mean, all those options are out there.
But once you're in the NFL, they already take care of your school. If you want to go back to the school in the offseason, they pay for that. Even when you're done playing, they'll still pay for you to go back to school a certain amount of years after removed from the NFL. And so you can even go while you're playing. So that's no excuse. Like, you can still go play your game, son. Go get your money. School's not going anywhere. But, at the end of the day, it's your decision. It's yours.
Big Play Jay says in our YouTube chat thread, I would like, and this is just me personally, Aiden or Tibbs with the first pick, which is kind of where I am. Linebacker, safety with the second first-round pick, wide receiver with the first pick in the second round. And see, again, this goes back to my whole draft thing with just everything's in play. All these things that we talk about. None of the people that want receivers, you're right. People that want a quarterback, you're right. People that want a linebacker, you're right. Yes, they need all of that. That's where it comes back to.
There's so many gaps, right? And so we go through this draft. We're going to have another draft. So this draft needs to be like last year's draft, where we have multiple 4 to 5 guys starting and being productive on both sides of the ball. We're going to need that again with this draft, and we're going to need that again in next year's draft. Well, the next draft after that, right? And so now that's when we have our foundation, we're building, and now money is freed up, and now we go out, and now the Lions is one of those teams that say like a Tom Brady or a quarterback of, I'm not going to say of that caliber because there's nobody of that caliber, but a talented quarterback can look around and say, you know what, I don't like the position that I'm in right now. I want to go to a team that's right there. They just need a quarterback, and that can be us. that can be Detroit. That's what Tampa Bay was. I want to be Tampa Bay right before Tom Brady got there. And we can be that here in the next 2 to 3 years, which the only thing we need is just that quarterback to come back here and lead us. You know what? You never know. 3 or 4 years down the road, we might bring Stafford back. Now we got a better, I'm being honest.
Never say never. You know the bridge is open. So that never say never. And you would have heard here first, so you better clip that. So Joey has it.
Yeah, clip it. What's today? December
14th.
December 14th, 2021. George Bell said that in 2 to 3 years, if we can be the team that Tampa Bay was right before Tom Brady got there, it might be an opportunity where Matthew Stafford can come back and finish the job he came here to do.
And just for argument's sake, I know Juice Ghost talked about that he'll stay in school. Trevor Lawrence last year was the number 1 overall pick. His contract was worth about $36.5 million. Last I saw, they had Ojabo as the 10th overall pick and climbing.
Hey, she said Drake is high.
Between that and 60?
Yeah, so the first pick is about $36.5 million. If you're number 10, it's $20 million guaranteed. If you get up to number 6, it's $27 million guaranteed. So there's not, to me, if I'm Ojabo, that the juice isn't worth the squeeze there. I'm cashing in because it's not guaranteed.
And especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can always get that education.
Right. What you got, Joy?
No, it's funny. AC said Joy is high. Easy in the back said Joy took all the edibles with that one.
No, but again, that gap, it's just not as large as it used to be. And where Joy was coming from, that Taylor Mays made a dumb mistake in retrospect.
Yeah, it was
an economically poor mistake.
It was poor because back then they didn't have any NILs.
Right.
Why are you going back to school when you can get $50+ million? What coach is talking you into coming back to school?
Yep.
Is that coach really has
that as a lesson? Maybe that's
never
the agent's Roe versus Wade or whoever's advising.
Because your agent
whoever's advising. No. I'm saying, looking back at Taylor Mays, going, look what he did. You don't want that to happen to you. Go take the money
for sure. And I felt bad for him. We played in the Senior Bowl together. I played against him. He played for the South. I played for the North. I remember my first run in that game. We met head to head. Now, I'm not gonna say who won.
You got him.
Go back. Yeah, I got him. You never be far. I got him. It was good. But the moral of the story is, I don't care what grade you're in. Don't go back if you're a lottery pick. If you about to go to this combine and you're about to do well, he's going to do well. The 40 time is going to work in his favor. His stock is going to go up. More teams are going to start talking about him more and more and more and more. And if he goes out and he plays in these playoffs and he plays well, that's only going to rise his stock even more. Like the only way he can hurt himself is if he gets hurt. And knock on wood.
Yeah, and that's
knock on wood.
AC says Tom Izzo told Jaren Jackson to leave because he's a top 5 pick. John Calipari talks about that all the time too. If you're a coach and you have your players' your best interest in mind, you're going to tell, especially now in the NFL.
Look at Coach Tucker. He talked about the bowl game he's about to play. He said we have some guys that won't be playing, and if they decide they want to play, they're going to do what's in the best interest for them. And the key word that he said, the key statement he made, and we're going to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about that when we come back. And I know that it's not going to make bowl season simple, D-Mac. It's not.
It's not, but we like things simple. When we think simple, we think football season. Or if you're like, it's a Tuesday night, D-Mac, there's no football on. It's Chris Oak Island night, 9 o'clock. You got to find it. That sure ain't simple. But
I miss Maction already, man.
You know what it is, Mac? You know what it is? It's
you got basketball and
time.
Red Wings. Red Wings playing
the lovely and talented Alyssa right there in her chair that you see beside Joint. Yes, that is what I've been talking about. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. You walk in, I'm going to walk over there, sit down, relax, and I'm going to even watch The Bottom Line live and in Memorex. Remember that commercial back in the day? Right from Lady Jane's, but you can do it too no matter what. If there's a football game on, they got TVs in the mirrors. It's cool as hell. So get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Joint Bell, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Big D.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Pushing on through, second hour of the show. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell, Fish, and Sawyer here as well. Squad deep up in here. I know somebody in the YouTube chat thread mentioned, you take Aiden Hutchinson, then get Jamison Williams with the second first-round pick. Todd McShay has Jamison Williams going 8th overall in the draft. See, all these guys that you guys all like, the teams like them too. And you're going to see this where they all continue to rise up. The Ajabos, the Jamison Williams, all these guys that you see cooking it in these bowl games, in these conference championship games, all that. They're helping their stock tremendously, shall we say. One guy that will have to make that decision is Kenneth Walker. And there's some discussion. They don't know. Mel Tucker's not even sure that Kenneth Walker will play in the Peach Bowl. Mel Tucker talked about that. Here's his thoughts.
I'm uncertain, about him. I know he's been battling through some things, and so we'll just have to continue to monitor it. He's not the only one. I mean, it's a fluid situation. We're going to get as many guys prepared and ready to go as we possibly can. If guys feel like they want to play, then they're going to play. If it's in their best interest to play, they'll play. If it's not in their best interest to play, then I'm going to support them.
And that was Mel Tucker's thoughts on the whole Kenneth Walker situation. And Joik, I suspected it before. I didn't really want to start a storm and bring it up. But again, you guys know my stance on this. If you're Kenneth Walker, why play in this game? What's the reason?
Sit back, relax, get healthy, get healthy. You've done everything you needed to do. You're fine. Get ready for the combine. And honestly, stay with the team. As soon as that bowl game is over, you need to head out. You need to head out and start your training. Leave. I remember going into my senior year, I crammed a lot of classes in the summertime so I can finish up. I can take a lot of load off of me during the season. So I stacked up in the summertime, took about 9 credits during the season, and as soon as that semester was over, I was off to California to start my training, and I was going for about 3 months training.
It became real, and it was a job, even though you weren't drafted or anything like that yet. It was a job. That was your job.
It was a job. Left out in January, going through March until after right after the combine, and then I came back to Detroit and I started training here until the draft, and then when the draft was over is when I went on with the team to Buffalo, and it was all from there. But this is serious. This is serious right now. This is going to be the most crucial part of his career. This is going to be his longest year. Your rookie year is always your longest year because you have the bowl games, and then you have the
combine training.
No, you have some people go to the
Senior Bowl or whatever.
Senior Bowl, the East versus West Swine game, and they have other bowl games as well. So they have to play in those, and then after that they leave from those, and then they go back and start training for the combine. Then they get ready for the combine. Then they have meetings with teams. They have private workouts all over. They go visit teams. They have workouts there, and then boom, you got the draft. That happens, and now you go off. Now you're off with the team, and now boom, OTAs are over. Hit it again. That's for you now. Then when the draft is over, you go for the OTAs, the organized team activities, the mini camp, then the mandatory mini camp. You have your rookie mini camp, and then when that's over, and the rest of the team get to go back home, you know what you get to do? You can stay 2 more extra weeks to get some more work in. 2 extra weeks. Stay here. Let's push the sled. Let's watch some film.
Or don't.
Let's lift some more weights.
Or don't. How much you want it?
You know what I'm saying? And then lift some more weights.
That's true.
Here's the thing. So
hold on. We're not even done yet. We're not done yet, D-Mac. Then you get 3 weeks off.
We're in May right now, right?
Now we're in June, going into July, because you stay after for 2 more weeks, and when the 4th of July weekend comes, that's where you can go back home, and then you're right back in 3 weeks
for actual training camp.
For actual
the hard
training.
part,
right? So you take so usually, as I got to my career, I would take 1 week after OTAs to kind of rest and kind of regroup, and then I'll get back into it. And so when that week is over, now you go back to train. I will go back to Cali. I will train in Cali. Now I will come back a week before training camp to take 1 more week off before training camp starts. And then, boom, I'm going into training camp, right? And now training camp is started. Now the season's here. And when you're a rookie, not only do you get to practice and stay after for meetings, but when your meetings are over, there's another meeting for all rookies, so you get to stay another 1 to 2 hours after a long day of practice from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, and you get to leave at 8 p.m., and you have to do that every week for the whole 16 weeks, right? On top of everything else you're doing, the studying, trying to make sure you know the plays, trying to make sure you know your opponents. So your rookie year is always by far your longest year. And I would tell young guys that are coming out, like, be ready. This is going to be a long year. It's going to be a doozy. The thing that happened to me.
Do you call it a doozy?
Oh, yeah, it's a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. So get used to it. And so these are all the things that play a part into coming into the NFL as a rookie.
I mean, for me, and we're seeing that already too, like Travis Lampman on our YouTube chat thread says, K9 needs to protect that payday. There's other Michigan State fans on there that are saying, yeah, we get it. And D-Mac, this goes back to my point. I'm telling you guys this. Be ready for this too. This won't happen this year, but we're not far off. Somebody's going to be in that college football playoff, D-Mac, and they're bouncing. They're not going to play. It's coming.
No, but that's what I'm saying. My question would be, what is the criteria to be mad at somebody for not playing in a bowl game as opposed and doing something?
I think it's the playoff. I think that's the line right now, and that line's going to get clouded soon. Because could you imagine if Hutchinson left?
All honesty, it shouldn't be the same for everybody but I get it that it's not going to be as far as perception, right? Kenneth Walker is not playing for a national championship. Well, I get it's more for a Michigan State fan to understand why he's not playing, but. Yeah. Then the Alabama's, what if there's guys not playing? Or is that the program where Nick Saban says, when you come here, this is what's expected? You never know if that's the case too. So I just asked the question to you, to everybody out there is what changes that?
The playoffs.
Or does
it?
He
said the playoffs.
Yeah. For now.
For now. That what changes it.
Joy, you think that day's coming? Where somebody like Aiden Hutchinson, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 3 years, maybe next year, somebody says, hey, I get it. I want to win and everything like everybody else wanted to win. But I'm projected, if I'm not number 1, I'm number 2, and that's $36 million, and I'm not putting that at risk. It's good. You think it's going to happen, Joy?
And that's going to be the thing that's the thing that's going to happen with the playoffs, even if we made it bigger, and we had, say, MSU in there, right? And say we did have them in there, and Kenneth Walker he'll be good enough to play in that game, right? But because of his stock in the draft, he doesn't want to risk it. So yeah, I'm not going to play this. So is that a legitimate playoff where we don't have the best players playing in that game? That's like a guy. We're not going to watch the NFL. We're going to go watch Canadian
maybes or whatever. My question is what? Here's a scenario that comes up, and tell me why it couldn't. Right, with this NIL. So because of guys sitting out or whatever, but it could be with this somebody in the NIL, you have to play a bowl game, right? What if it's one of these guys at the freshman year, the sophomore year,
you brought up, yeah.
signed, gets to their junior year, is a stud up to the top 5, but committed to play there, can break the contract, not play, but plays, right? Because he's not worried about it, because it'll never happen to him. Boom, blows it out there. Then does what I'm saying make sense to you? Like, when does that there's something that could happen, could it not?
National championship game, Willis McGahee. Somebody brings it up. Broke his leg.
Yeah, he ended up falling, he was like the 21st pick, or he was in the 20s, I believe. That's what Baltimore took. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, there was discussion that the Lions were picking third that year or whatever, that the Lions were locked in on him, and that's where they were going to go. Ultimately, he came back, and it worked out, and he had a great career. And that was back in that day, too, where we talked about those rookie scales where you cashed TF out. The higher you win.
Out.
Yeah.
I remember, because Fairley came out, in 11? Nick Fairley came out in 11.
Somewhere around that time.
Came out in 11 after the new CBA, and I remember Sue in the locker room walking around, and he looked at Nick Fairley and said, "I don't know how you can do it. To have that salary cap on there and not get paid to do what we do, I feel sorry for you."
He was real about it, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. That's what he said. And so, by any means necessary, do what's best for you, obviously, but also understand that, you worked your butt off this whole year. You want to play in the NFL, but you also had a dream of winning that national championship for your alma mater. So it's up to you. You've been healthy the whole year. I'm not saying it can't happen, because it can, but if your team goes out there and loses this national championship game, you could have been a big part of helping them win. Can you live with yourself? And the answer is, yeah, I can live with myself. Then go ahead, live with yourself. Like you said, you get to a point where they tell you no, or something happens, you're going to say, okay, you're going to hop in your Range Rover, you're going to drive to your house.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, man.
You're going to hop in your Range Rover, you're going to drive home.
Snoil OG says, kids aren't even going to have to go to the NFL. Look at the QB from Ohio State who transferred to Texas, made $1 million already, will probably make $1 million at Texas. Why go play when you got $2 million in the bank? Quinn Ewers. Yeah, Spencer Rattler, by the way, since we're on that discussion right now, has announced he's transferring to South Carolina, so he will be in the SEC. And there it is. Spencer Rattler committed. He's excited for the next chapter, and he's another guy. And there is Quinn Ewers with those luscious locks that he has. He's going back to Texas. He'll bring Texas back, right? I keep being told Texas is back, so maybe he'll be able to do that. But yeah, Kenneth Walker. If you had to bet on it right now, D-Mac.
Yeah.
Is he going to play or is he not going to play? What would you bet on?
I'd say no.
I would say no as well.
I would say no.
Just because of, and I'd probably advise him not to. Right? There's no more gain that he can get as far as, his work's been put in this year. And I think it's more health. It's more better for him to be healthy, going to the combine to show out, and then put himself in the best possible position.
Does he dress for this game?
I don't know. That's where I would ask you, Joik. I mean, does he become a distraction if he's there? I think he does.
No. I don't think he's a distraction if he's there. I think that's motivation for your team. And the thing is, if he's not going to play, you can simply say, listen, we're going to dress you for the game. We're not going to let them know if you're playing or if you're not playing. And now you're playing mind games with your opponents. Like you don't, kind of like what Mel Tucker did. He didn't say, we're watching, we're evaluating him, and whatever he decides to do, I'm going to support him, and we're going to stand beside him.
See, I think he walks on the sideline. He doesn't dress, because then that puts more questions. Why didn't he play? Is he hurt and stuff like this? I would have him there, but when, like you mentioned before, but what Coach Tucker said is whatever he decides, we're going to support him. So I would expect him to be there rooting his teammates. But his teammates could also, when you win that award and come from Wake and be the transfer, but he's in that culture. So, with this game, the guys would understand, I believe, in this situation. So I don't think it'd be something he'd be ostracized, but I'd see something, you'd see him standing on the sidelines, and saying this, and we all support him. And you see Coach Tucker hug him. I mean, that's just the perception that I get, that I would expect in this case.
Guy K says any player that has a chance to be drafted in the first round shouldn't take the risk to play in any of these games. College is over, and all these games are meaningless in terms of money and futures, and that's where it is for me. I mean, the second I know. What's that?
Playoffs included?
Yeah. If you want to boil it all down, who you making money for at that point? You ain't making it for you. If you're Aiden Hutchinson, it's not making any money for him right now.
But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say his case is different. You hear me out? I think it's more of an emotional tie than it just being about money.
Okay, so he doesn't value the money. Okay.
All right. No, I'm not going to say he doesn't value the money. He values the money, but he also values kind of what he went there for. He went there to do a job. But like I told you, if he can go through this, and his father went to school there, and he can do something his father never did, and he know this means a lot to his father, he might do it for him. He might, this is I'm your legacy, right? This is our family history, and he might do it just for that sake, right? I don't know. His father might say, "Listen, son, don't risk it," or his agent might know that I'm playing this game. I had a job. I came to do a job. I'm not leaving until the job is done, or at least know I gave him my all, before I left, right? And I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out. We're going to see.
We're going to see.
We're going to see.
We're going to see if we can stuff this studio with more than $70,000 worth of toys last year that Woodward Sports sent over to the Mott Children's Hospital. We're doing it again. Big thank you to the folks at Guardian Alarm and Myre as well. Pull up on us if you want to bring a toy. Yeah, absolutely. You can come on in the Woodward Sports Studio and drop off a toy for Mott Children's Hospital. We're doing it all week this week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 34915 Woodward Avenue. We're right in the heart of Birmingham. Last year, the largest donation in the history of the Mott's Children's Hospital, $70,000 worth of toys came here from Woodward Sports. We're trying to beat that number this year. And remember, if you can't bring a toy down here, go to woodwardsports.com. We have a Venmo on there. You can donate there as well. Some of these kids, guys, been in that hospital all year long. Let's blow it up this year for the holiday season for them, and make it memorable for them, make it special for them. They've been battling all the time. They deserve it. So certainly whatever we can do here at Woodward Sports, whatever you can do as well, is appreciated. All week this week, 8 a.m., 10 p.m., the Woodward Sports Studios, woodwardsports.com if you want to donate as well. Again, a big thank you to Guardian Alarm and Myre. It's the second annual Stuff a Studio from Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Joy Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house, Fish is in the bowl, and, of course, Sawyer in the booth, paving the way.
Almost died earlier, but I'm back and alive.
Oh, you got it back together.
I don't know how, but... No, it's just
Fish
water.
lost oxygen.
Yeah, I
tried to get out of the
died
bowl
for like a good 10 minutes. I was worried there.
You're worried. You know what though? You know what people can do to kind of help bring you back to life?
Tea.
If they just
stay out.
No, not they stay out. But if they get down there, they scroll down, they hit the like button.
Hit the like button and subscribe. Woodward Sports.
Oh, that's why. Hit the like button. There's only like a quarter of the likes on there, and you drown without likes. We need to get to 100 guys at least before the end of the show, or else Fish gonna drown.
Scroll down, hit the like button.
That's how we pay for the oxygen in the fish tank. Look, Sam's just sitting behind him there. Got the water leaking out.
In there for him.
Yeah.
Travis Landman brings up a good point, though. We're talking about guys skipping the bowl games and the days coming where they skip the playoff. And he says it also helps if your family has money. If you're playing for a championship, maybe it's worth the risk if you already have a good financial base. And that certainly is something that you would assume the Hutchinson family has.
But it comes down to priorities. What's your priority?
Right. What's your priority?
Because you're not the one thinking, but your dad's been through it. If we're talking specifically about him, so what's in the best interest? Like you said, Neil, at the end of the day, as an athlete, you're not thinking about going out there and who you're making money for. That's usually what people are trying to exploit to whatever else. But it's about, that's why having people around you to know. But we don't know what, like Hutchinson, what is his priority? His priority to go as high in the draft as it is, or his priority to win a national championship?
Jake Wegener says not everyone's motivation is money. Winning a national championship is something only a small percentage even get an opportunity to do. And that is true. Yeah, for some people, that is true.
Forever be in the history books.
Sure.
Forever. And never going anywhere. Sometimes, sometimes a lot of things about, money and, this and that, but sometimes that winning culture and being a part of history and knowing that your name is always going to be there as a champion, and that's something that can never be taken away from you. Your money can come and go.
No, which I get, Joy, and we've touched on this before. I mean, even for me, like I talked with you guys before, like my goal is to be an NBA play-by-play guy. That's my goal. I've always described it this way, Joy, is it's 10 times easier to make the NBA as a player than it is as an announcer. Because you think about it, you have 12 guys on a team that dress anyway.
You're doing math again, Neil.
There's 2 announcers.
You're doing math
so,
again.
I mean, it's a lot easier to make the league as a player. So think of how crazy that thought process or that goal is to even have. Like who could ever accomplish that? And for me, if you want to make tons of money in this field, you go into baseball and you do television for baseball. And, you grind and you do 162 games in 180 days or whatever that number is. But you make a lot more money doing baseball than you do basketball. But for me, I enjoy doing basketball.
That's what you love doing.
Yeah, I want to be one of the 30 best in the world at what I do.
Key word. That's because you want to be the best.
I want to be one of the 30 best in the world.
And so
that's my motivation.
So that's your motivation. So
right.
a national championship game might be his motivation to go and play in this game.
Which I get, and for some people that's cool. But there's other people.
Yeah.
They do baseball. They want money. Like they want to make the most money they can, and that's fine too. Go do what's important to you. I mean, for me, if I never made it to the NBA, I mean, I've called NBA games before, but say in my career path, I don't end up making it to the NBA, I'm cool with that because I'm making enough money right now to be cool. To look my wife in the eye and say,
Lorenzo and the Benzo.
Yeah, like I'm doing what I want to do right now, and it's cool. But in the back of my mind, Joy, everything I do is to that goal. To get to the NBA.
You got fans coming in. Neil, come to Orlando. Our guys are boring here.
Oh, you know what? Hey, if Orlando hollered at me today, I'd be on the flight. What is it? It's 12:45 right now.
Yeah, we'd be on that flight.
You'd be on the 2:40 flight.
I would be on the 2:40 flight down there to
You'd
holler
say,
at
stay out. Woodward Sports, let's go.
Negotiations.
Yeah, go down there. You need a place to stay. My parents are moving down there. We'll, have you get your guest room before you go do your interview. Just don't forget us when you make it.
Right, absolutely.
Don't forget about us.
No, but
we won't forget you.
Yeah, that's it though. Yeah, Orlando, Miami, Phoenix, San Antonio, LA. Yeah, I'm about that life, no doubt. But I get that there's that different motivation for different folks. But for me, if it were, I have to call these games, to get to where I want to go, but it doesn't make a difference if they're going to hire me now, or I can start working towards that now. I'll skip doing the rest of the stuff. I'll go be committed to that now, kind of like what you talked about with, you drop out of that bowl game, your career starts then, that second.
Yeah, it's done.
It's over. OVA.
Yeah.
That's it.
But the thing is that the D1 season lasts longer than a Division II season, sometimes if we don't make it all the way through.
Right. By a month, even more.
Yeah. So, because when is the bowl game, the playoffs start? What?
New Year's Eve is the first game, and then usually it's that Monday following, whatever, January 8th, whatever that day is.
So because I think the national championship game for Division II is also in December, so around this time. It's around this time. So you might have a month, if you're in that championship game to kind of take a week or two off. And a week or two off doesn't mean you're sitting at home getting fat. That means you're doing pool work. You're doing maintenance, a little bit of yoga, stretching, and just doing things, band work, things to kind of get your body back, get you to feeling good. And then, after those, week and a half, 2 weeks, then get back into it. But gradually getting back into it because it's a different type of training from your first NFL year compared to your second year, right? Your second year in the NFL. It's totally different training.
Yeah. What do you got, Fish?
First bowl game, by the way, this Friday. I'm very excited, even though half the players don't play anymore. But
is it the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl?
It's Toledo versus someone. I'll check, but it's going to be fun.
So that reeks of Boca Raton or the Bahamas Bowl.
It probably is the Bahamas Bowl.
It reeks Bahamas.
Golden Grizzlies playing in Bahamas next year. I'm excited for that. AC, Neil, did they let you call summer league games? I've called NBA games before for the Pistons and for the Bulls. Summer, I'm usually...
It is the Bahamas Bowl, Toledo and Middle Tennessee.
I'm bowl elite, man. I know these. Just give me the matchups. I can tell you probably what bowl it is. But I do soccer for ESPN in the summertime. So usually I have that commitment going on, Detroit City FC and all that. We'll take our final break of the show. When we come back, I want to get into the Red Wings a little bit here tonight. New York Islanders in town. NFL's got a COVID situation that's popping off as well. But, hey, D-Mac, we could use a guardian against COVID, it looks like.
Well, I don't know if they can do anything against that, but these toys are going to get to Mott Children's Hospital next week for sure from our friends. Guardian Alarm, because they get it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24-hour 7 days a week monitoring right from your phone. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, you control your lights, temperatures, detect smoke, and even that deadly killer carbon monoxide hack. You can even unlock, lock, whatever like this for guests. It's absolutely perfect. So if you want to be part of the Woodward Sports Network Big D Energy family, you have to call this number. It's 1-800.
Stay out.
1-800.
Stay out.
Fish going a little, what, Beatles today? That's a little harmony. I need you to yell it. Give me
Stay out of my voice box.
That's it. Oh, that's what it is. All right, for everybody in the back, Fish, in case you want it, 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house. Get away. Donate toys.
Donate toys. Hit that like button so Fish will get fed. That's 1-800 Stay Out. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years of keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Big D Energy. Neil Rule, Joint Bell, D-Mac. Back in a minute.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Season for us. We're talking sports 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik, Bell, Fish, and Sawyer here as well. And real quick, the NFL has got a COVID situation popping off, as a lot of teams do. The Pistons were supposed to be in Chicago tonight. That game has been postponed. The NFL had 37 total positive COVID cases yesterday. That was the highest number of player positives since COVID began. Think about that for a minute. So it is certainly something. And we're getting down to December now, the playoff situation. It's getting scary, man. It is.
Yeah, it is. But it's not getting the same type of light that it was getting once before, like at the beginning of the year.
Right.
It was almost as if a player had COVID, it was almost as if it was a death sentence. But it seems like the more information we're getting out, more people are getting vaccinated.
Right.
The temperature has kind of died down a lot over the last few months.
But has it, though? Because did you see the NFL's shot in to require COVID booster shots for all Tier 1 and 2
staff members? Yep.
So, released to the fact that that maybe it's not as... I'm not a doctor. We were talking about this before. It's just something like that. There's something to it because people are testing positive now when they find out. Hopefully it's maybe it's only a 2-day negative or something like this. Maybe it changes the formula, right? Because the variant has changed. But not only is it, I think it's, I don't think we're at the alarming state. I'm not alarmed, but I'm on
You're
alert.
Mindful. Yeah.
I'm alert to the fact because I'm looking. Let's see where we're at after today, after tomorrow, into Thursday, because that's the start of the new week, right, of football. So if there's something, and it seems when the NFL does things like this, They're trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Speaking of get ahead of it, the Red Wings need to get back ahead of things. Yeah, the Islanders in town tonight. Some news out of the Red Wings organization. Robbie Fabry signs a 3-year, $12 million contract in DMAC.
Like it.
I like it, too. I like it that, it's a bit of a controlled gamble on the Red Wings' part. There's no real long-term commitment. It's not huge dollars per se. Fabry's 20-goal-a-year guy, give or take.
Well, yeah, it's second line point, second line points guy. Guy can play up and down the lineup. It's a continuity that he has playing with guys like Pie Suter, Tyler Bertuzzi, and it's about the character. He fits in with the Red Wing character. I look over to you when things like happen, and I picture this is Neil Rule with his draft wing Steve Yzerman draft. He looks, he goes, oh, Fabry, that was going to be because that was the one question about the guys here that no one was really talking about. Stevie addressed it. Oh, I'm just going to file it here, and then we'll move on, right? And the affordability, where it keeps this, the fact that legitimate player. Hopefully, this might ease Fabry's mind a little bit, because I think that has something to go into it, right? Steve knowing the player, let's put his mind at ease. He's not going anywhere. He's to me, maybe if he went on the free agent market, he could get 5 a year, but he wants to be here, be a part of something they're developing, and I look to him as an integral part of that, being a secondary scoring power play and obviously PK, and he'll only get better.
And the big thing for me with all this, with the Robbie Fabry deal, is that you're not seeing $6 million a year till age 34 or 35. I don't know, like a Franz Nielsen type contract. We're not seeing that. And it's a bit of a controlled gamble. If he pops off, he'll be a free agent at 28, and he can come back to the table and say, hey, where the sugar
But
at?
Here's the whole thing. When we're talking about Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman, if you're getting paid it, you've earned it.
Right.
He ain't giving you nothing.
Or he expects you to earn it.
But he'll drag it to the point until you deserve that next slice, or whatever. You're not gonna listen. You're not gonna paint him into a corner, right? Sometimes GMs get painted into a corner by not making the deal early enough, or making it too late, or making a player unhappy, or stuff like this. That Steve Yzerman will never have. He'll not, and it's not upper hand. It's just his seat is higher than everybody else's. That's all it is. He just looks down because that's what he's built.
And also, too, I mean, probably my favorite number when I look at the Red Wings is when you go to the 2022-2023 year with where the Red Wings are sitting next season, $38 million in cap space.
Ooh, that makes Neil feel so good.
Well, it's just everything's on the table. Everything's on the. You can do whatever you want to do.
And
you can draft who you want to draft.
Yes.
If there's a player you like at a certain position, you can do it. And and that includes the quote unquote big money guys, where the 50 goal scorer. You're a player now to go buy those guys.
Well, you can shop, or you can wait, or you can plan, or you can see. Now the pressure goes from the Steve Yzerman, the Chris Drapers in the draft, into the Kirk Maltbys, who are watching the professional guys. Who are the guys coming up? Who's the guy that we want to take? This younger contract guys that are in the league. That's the next step in this development. So sit back. Hashtag Wiser Plan. Tonight against the Isle, we got to get back on track. So we need people down there hooting and hollering. And I expect the goaltending, Nedeljkovic, to get back on track.
I hope so, because you can't
last few games they've been poo-poo.
No, absolutely. It's been grim. Joik, when you pull him back on LCA for a Wings game?
Whenever D-Max invites me.
Right on.
We're all in that camp, I guess, huh?
Or you just tell me you want to go down.
Get in line. Get in line. Yeah.
Absolutely, get in line. I would have came down tonight. I got Greg Campy's radio show tonight, so I can't get through there.
Yeah, you big time.
But I'm fenced.
You going to the game tonight?
No, I gotta go up north. I gotta go to the farm.
Check in on the crops.
Yeah, absolutely. Medicine's always being made.
Medicine always being made.
Speaking
of, what did you get today for me?
I got the Radical
Labs.
Radical Labs. Yeah, I got a edible I'm going to actually devour here in about 3 minutes. So that'll be
probably
my
about a minute and a
afternoon.
half, huh?
A minute and a half. Yeah, whatever. and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Absolutely. But no, appreciate everybody tapping in to the show today. For Joik Bell, for Darren McCarty, for Fish, and for Sawyer, my name is Neil Rule. Joik, give it to him.
Gang, gang.
Thanks for listening to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.
Well, see you later.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuffer Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuffer Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho.